Hello everyone and welcome to Jennifer Clair Astrology. I'm Jennifer Clair, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining to you how to use astrology to choose your best career. This video will support you in developing confidence and choosing a path that's right for you. Now, before I give you the nitty-gritty on how to find your next career through astrology, I first have to tell you my personal example so you know where I'm coming from. The reason I'm here doing this today is because my astrologer told me that this could be a satisfying career choice. Before studying astrology, I did many things. I was the ultimate free spirit. I loved having little responsibility and all the free time my heart desired. I became a flight attendant and I traveled around the world. I would ride horses on beaches far away and hike mountains and challenge myself to do things on my own. So I literally had this saying that my purpose in life is to have no purpose. But before I go further, I have to interject and tell you that my south node is in the sign of Sagittarius. And for all of you who don't know, the south node represents the point in our chart that we are moving away from. So the north node, the opposite point, is where we're headed, and it's who we are aspiring to become. For me, that point is in Gemini. So I realized looking back after I studied evolutionary astrology that I was living the first half of my life as a Sagittarius. All of my viewpoints and my actions were aligned to things that a Sagittarius would do. But my soul's purpose, just like your soul's purpose, is to move away from that comfort zone of the South Node and towards the unfamiliar territory, but ultimately the higher ground of the North Node. So this brings us to our very first point that you want to consider when you're choosing a career. Look at the position of your South Node and North Node in your chart. So you want to look at what house each node is in and what sign each node is in. Next, you want to look at the sign ruling your 10th house. The 10th house is your career house. And for me, I have Cancer ruling the 10th house. So that means that I'm going to take on a nurturing counseling role in my career. And isn't it ironic that before I even started studying astrology, my first love was psychology? I literally applied to many different universities to get into psychology programs, and ultimately I did choose a different route, aka astrology, but I'm still using counseling in my career. So by looking at your 10th house sign, you can find out what kind of energy do I bring to my career. Now, when I say energy, it's very important that you recognize I am talking about elemental energy. So the four elements in astrology are earth, air, fire, water. And if you're not already familiar with what sign is associated with what element and what that means about its energy, then you may want to check out my blog on the elements, which is listed below, and also on my website. Lastly, let's have a look at the stellium in your chart. So if you have a stellium, that means that you would have more than 3 planets in one house. So this can give you more clues as to the natural gifts you have and the energy you bring, the area of life you're here to focus on, which can roll over into your career. So to give you an example, have a stellium in my 3rd house. I have 5 planets here as well as the South Node. So there's a lot of energy, and this is the house of teaching, educating, sharing information, reading, writing, learning, all of that. So I would just encourage you to look at, especially if you have a stellium in the 2nd house or the 6th house or the 10th house, because those are all work-related houses. And then you have the 3rd and the 9th house, which are about teaching and learning. So those are areas you definitely want to study in your chart. And there's one more tip I want to give you before I go today, and that is the planetary ruler of the 10th house. So if you know what sign you have ruling the 10th house, for me, that's Cancer, you look at what planet rules that sign. And for me, that's the moon. Then you look at, well, where is the moon in my chart? For me, it's the 1st house. That area of life can give you another clue as to how you're here to generate income. I hope you have enjoyed this video on astrology in your career, but if you have further questions and would like to book a personalized career reading with me, you can do so at jenniferclairastrology.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.